Hey everybody, Tara Green here, and it is April the 1st, so happy April Fool's Day. So April Fool's Day is very much all about the zero card in the tarot, the Fool, or the Jester in regular card games. So you want to take advantage of being the Fool. The Fool is the wisest of all the cards in the tarot. It is the symbol of enlightenment in the way I work with it. So zero is always an infinity. It's a complete circle. It's a circle of life, never ending. And the Fool represents the soul. So the soul stepping off the cliff. This is the traditional Rider-Waite deck here. The soul is stepping off the cliff to just, partake in a journey to experience, because from the soul's perspective, it's already been everything. So the Fool represents the absolute beginning, the absolute beginner. It is the divine child, the whole child, the complete, the golden child. See all the gold on the card, all that light. So the complete whole soul, the complete whole soul that's never been defiled or hurt or wounded or anything like that. It's absolutely unconditionally loved. It knows its self-worth. It knows its goddess self, its God self. And so the soul decides to step into experience, to descend from the highest heavens, the highest worlds. There's 7 heavens traditionally, down to the earth plane, where we step down from, the spiritual world, the mental, the emotional, and then the physical. So in your body. So this is what the Fool is all about. And the Fool kind of just lives in the moment. And that's what enlightenment is. If you live fully in the moment like children do, because they don't consciously remember the past and they're not thinking about the future, they're not worrying about the past, they're just being present fully in the now. And that's what enlightenment is. It's about being present. There's that pun around. The present is the present, right? So to use the wisdom of the Fool and to not worry and to be in this place of fun, and the Fool is also kind of a trickster energy, the Fool, not caring what other people think, to really embody that today. And of course, on cue, the trickster planet Mercury, the planet of communications, of all our thinking, our consciousness, social media, everything we use to exchange information, turns retrograde today, right on cue. And it'll be retrograde until April the 25th. So it's going backwards in Aries. So Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, hot-headed, literally jumps in, very spontaneous, very competitive, first out of the gate, independent. It's all about me. Aries is I am, like the saying about God, I am that I am, because it's the first sign. It represents that first impulse of spring, the Big Bang, right? That's all Aries kind of energy. So with Mercury retrogrades act differently depending on the sign that they're in. Mercury will only retrograde in fire signs this year in 2024, by the way. That doesn't always happen. So it's starting out, the first retrograde of the year, in Aries, the first sign. So expect a lot of old anger to get unleashed, to just lash out, maybe unconsciously. People are going to be arguing. There's going to be fighting words. There's going to be competition. It could be wars starting. It could be a lot of old battles. What you didn't say, your 2 cents that you always wanted to get in, that might be something you have to say now. So it's a good time. All retrogrades are good times, actually. So don't get fooled by all that disaster, kind of modern, whatever, clickbait stuff. All retrogrades are good, Mercury retrograde, because it gives you a chance to reflect. We assume that we're machines and things always move forward. That's a totally masculine timeline that is not reflective of how we live, of what we are, and we are always nature. So you have to sleep at night. You spend 1/3 of your night sleeping, and that's exactly the same amount of time that Mercury spends on average moving backwards in the sky. Now, in Vedic astrology, they believe that Mercury retrogrades are good because the planet is more visible in the sky, it's brighter. So, and people born under Mercury retrogrades, and you could be one of the 20 to 30% that are considered to be really smart. They kind of think outside the box, so they may be misdiagnosed as having learning disabilities or ADD or anything like that. But it's actually because they just don't think in the average way. Okay, so a lot of artists, creative people have that. So while Mercury is retrograde in Aries, you want to go back from what you started and review anything that starts with RE, retrograde, review, rest, reflect, all of that stuff, right? Okay, so it's a good time. Your brains need a break. Can't just keep going at breakneck speed. But remember, there's a phenomenal April 2024 is kind of a historic month. So much is going on this month. So the fact that Mercury's retrograde in a way, I think will have a delayed effect. We won't immediately have that knee-jerk reaction or screaming in the streets or I'm gonna battle down. So it kind of slows it down a bit. I think in a way that's a good thing because Aries is so, wants to fight, the warrior. Now, so, of course, the big eclipse, total solar eclipse, April 8th, it's only a week away now. Also in Aries, conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries, and the North Node or highest goal or highest evolutionary goal right now is to go into that Aries direction. So maybe you want to unpack Aries. What is Aries really all about? Again, traditionally ruled by Mars, modern astrology also ruled by Mars, the warrior, the masculine, the testosterone, the drive, the ambition, maybe you want to look at that, in a different way or to take it apart, examine it. Why am I feeling I have to do so much, constantly work, constantly be so aggressive? What am I threatened about, And that can be a really healthy thing to do. So definitely do be careful around fire, and this extends to cooking because I already had a live experience about this. I was doing a live every month at the beginning of the month. I do a months ahead astrology, all the major aspects, and live tarot card readings for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel. And during that, while I was saying be careful of fires, I was sitting, in my living room where I do this, and my husband had been in the kitchen and put something on. He tends to always put the broiler on very hot, and then he walked away so I could smell smoke. And I called him during this live broadcast. He didn't answer, and I went, oh my God, I know he's outside. And I had to get up during my broadcast to, open the oven, turn it off. The fire alarm went off after that. So yes, my experience already, be very careful even when cooking, because you could get absent-minded. That's very much what Mercury retrograde is about. Fires, guns, of course, there can be lots of shootings, lots of past vendettas, lots of angry words you could hear from, past men that, you thought you got over or whatever.